I do appreciate you taking the time, and I do want to first ask, what's new with the Jeptha Creed? I mean, because you guys have now been around for a while, and everything's been incredibly busy with, like we were just saying. But tell me a little bit about what's new. What can people expect right now?
Well, you mentioned that you have our 6-year aged wheated bourbon on your desk, and I so appreciate you having that. That is one of our newest releases. Okay. And that one I'm super, super excited with. It is, with our Bloody Butcher corn, it has the malted wheat and malted barley. And so it is definitely a wheated bourbon, but it is the most unique flavor profiled wheated there is. I'm so happy that we have this heirloom corn that we've invested in, the malted grains. So we have a beautiful, unique flavor profile that, it just makes us stand out on the shelf. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about, like, with the blood corn and all of that. Like, how does that differ from just your traditional kind of, corn that people are using for different whiskeys or bourbons? Well, this is one of the props I brought. So this is actually Bloody Butcher. And you can see that is this beautiful, deep red. Kind of looks like dried blood, but that's the color, but beautiful, beautiful. And this corn is non-GMO. It is open pollinated, and it's been documented in use since at least 1845. All right. So that open pollinated means each kernel on the cob is a seed. Okay. We plant these seeds the spring after we harvest them. Yep. And get the same exact corn again. So it makes it very sustainable, and it makes us seed savers. So this corn, by itself makes our bourbon one of the most environmental and sustainable bourbons there are because of the corn that we're using. Love that. Now, one of the things that we have found is that the varietal of corn you're using to make your bourbon has a flavor influence, a little bit like the different varietals of grapes have a flavor influence on wine. Yeah. Corn does the same thing in the bourbon. Yeah. So this red corn, this Bloody Butcher corn, gives us a beautiful, deep, robust, earthy, nutty, sometimes really beautiful dessert flavor profile. Yeah. I like that. Because I don't particularly know the difference between like the two corns necessarily in general, but with that you say like more earthy and all of that. So does it, does that provide like a little more of like the bite that you would get, or like a little less sweetness, or is it more sweet? Or? Oh no, it's sweet, but it's a maltose sweet rather than a sucrose or glucose sweet. Okay. So 99% of all the other bourbons on the shelf are going to be made with number 2 yellow dent corn, which is commercially available everywhere. And a lot of it is GMO. So that's the flavor profile that you're going to get for most of the bourbons. But the Bloody Butcher, I wouldn't call it bite, but it's a deep density of flavor that you get with this Bloody Butcher corn. And it's this beautiful earthiness. So I like to think of the flavor profile sometimes as being like, if you could imagine a beautiful day like today, where the sun is shining, the blue sky is beautiful, white puffy clouds, and you're warm and you're happy and there's a breeze and you're just enjoying that day and the smells of the soil and the grass and the hay and maybe the barn and tobacco and leather and all of those things wrapped up together is what the Bloody Butcher has given to us. I mean, it doesn't sound terrible, right? It sounds like a good way to be spending the day, for sure. Yes. But, and it's part of that uniqueness that, has really, I mean, like I said, I have a couple of bottles of Jeptha Creed that's on my desk. That's what really draws me into it. And, with that and doing things, kind of, your own style, do you think that has had a lot of that impact on why, especially now when, things are a little economically unstable for a lot of people, that you guys are continuing to see a lot of growth and success at the distillery and with the brand? Well, I think there's several factors that are affecting our success. And one of those is that we've done things the longest, slowest, hardest way. So we every drop of bourbon in a Jeptha Creed bottle, we've distilled it ourselves. And in fact, more than that, we've grown the corn ourselves. So all of the corn that we use, my husband has grown, and it's grown on our own estate properties. So it is very much, we like to say, ground to glass, or from our farm to your glass.
Yeah.
So I think we are like the representation of farm to table, in the restaurant businesses, and what people are looking for, trying to move to in their homes to eat more, raw, foods. Jeptha Creed bourbon is like that. We know where the corn is grown. We know the soil that it went into. We know how we've taken care of the soil. So it's a very sustainable bourbon that I think people are very much attracted to for those aspects of it. And that right now, because we have done things the longest, slowest, hardest way, and we've opened to the public in November of 2016. So we are going to be celebrating our 10-year anniversary this November.
Yes.
That the bourbon is now aged up.
Yes.
To this point now. And now it's beautiful, and now people are looking at it. So I think that's one of the things that's allowing us to gain some success, even though the market is, I'm going to say, leveling off and stabilizing itself because of the craziness that it's had.
Yeah, there was
over the past 5 years.
Yeah, there was a giant boom of everything, and that I feel like those are the majority of the stories that we read now. It's like people are cutting back, or they're producing less, or anything like that. But you guys seem to be just continuing to push forward, and I love seeing that, and especially like I said, I mean, part of that is the slowing of the industry, but I love seeing. With the success of Jeptha Creed, I mean, obviously, women owned, and in a industry that's, predominantly a male driven or male, owned industry.
Male history.
Yeah. Like, how has that been, kind of navigating through that and, basically telling your story this way, compared to what's, just kind of ingrained in people's brains.
I don't know. I don't really think about that we're striving and jumping into a male-dominated industry so much because I think the industry is changing itself so much that it's not as male-dominated as it used to be. And even when it was so male-dominated, there were a whole lot of women making everything work and making everything taste delicious and actually happen in the background. They just weren't getting the credit that they deserved. So I think right now, yes, we are a woman-owned distillery, and more than that, we are a mother-daughter team. So we get to, distinguish ourselves a little bit like that, and we're very much control freaks and want to do things our own way.
Yeah.
So we're just going forward, doing things our way, and putting our touches and spins on it, which as women will be a little bit more on the feminine side. But I think there's a whole lot of interest in that, and there's plenty of room on the shelf for those differentiations.
100%.
We are fitting on the shelf perfectly beautifully because we do get to be a little bit different and a little bit, putting our own spin on it.
Yeah. And I mean, and it comes down to some of those, smaller details too. It's like, I mean, even just looking at the bottle, besides like taking out like what's inside and how it tastes and how amazing it is. But I mean, like even everything down to how the bottles look, how the labels look. I mean, like from a visual standpoint too, I mean, it's all of those things that, kind of all come together for every single bottle of Jeptha Creed that I've gotten and the ones that I still have and will eventually replace as well.
I'm very glad of that.
Yeah. So I mean, it's fantastic to see that you guys are continuing to grow and thrive. So, you mentioned the 10-year anniversary that's going to be coming up in November. What else is kind of on the event schedule for this year?
We have a bourbon release coming up that's going to represent everything that we've done over the past 10 years. Now, this product is not going to be a 10-year aged product. But it is going to represent everything that we've done over the past 10 years that is been aged 4 years or more. So we have put together a Solera.
Okay.
And a Solera is a blending type process that you see a lot in wine. And we've already got this started, and we have laid down and put into the Solera every bourbon that we have produced from every different type of corn that we have grown and distilled into bourbon into the Solera. So we have laid down lots of different corns that, my husband has grown and blending them together. So we have the Bloody Butcher corn. I also have a couple of other little props here. This is the blue corn.
Okay, yep.
And this one I call Bruce's Blue because my husband put it together and his name is Bruce. So this one's Bruce's Blue. And then we have the white.
Yep.
So this one's called Hickory King, and it has been grown in the Appalachian areas for moonshine, but it also makes a beautiful, beautiful bourbon. Yeah. So we have this laid down. We have the Bruce's Blue laid down. We have some other heirloom corns that we've laid down, like Jimmy Red and Oaxacan Green and a White Cobb White and a Red Cobb White and a Trucker. Lots of different, beautiful corns. Hopi Blue, blending all of these together into our 10-year Solera release that will be coming out in September.
Okay. I mean, to me, that just sounds, it sounds, interesting, but also like a little bit like confusing of like all of those different like tastes that are kind of coming together to create a thing. Like, it just, to me, it sounds very complex but interesting. So that'll be exciting. You said September?
September.
Okay, I'll definitely be on the lookout for that. That's going to be amazing. And with the props that you brought, is this the red, white, and blue that you put into the one bottle? Okay, see, it all makes
red,
sense.
White, blue. You got it. So the red, white, and blue is literally made with the red corn, white corn, blue corn.
Yep.
And it is cooked, fermented, distilled, barreled, all red, white, and blue. It's not a blend of the different bourbons. It is red, white, and blue from the beginning to putting it in the bottle.
I love it. See, it's all of those details that I love being able to hear about, and even the ones that I'll read the stories either on the website or even things that are on the bottle or anything like that. And it's just so much fun, and I'd really appreciate you taking some time to be out here. And if people are looking to either get more info on visiting the distillery or even just picking up a bottle somewhere, where can they get some more information?
Well, then go to the website jepthacreed.com. We've got all our information on there. We got tours, tastings. We have beautiful experiences at the distillery. We also have a cocktail bar, a free tasting. We have a beautiful outdoor backyard facility with rocking chairs and cornhole, and we have a cafe for pizza and appetizers, and like I said, a cocktail bar. So a beautiful, beautiful destination that you can relax and enjoy for the whole afternoon. Yeah,
it's been a hot second since I've been out there, but I've been there when there was live music going and everything. It's a really special place. It is really it's a lot of fun to be at. So I mean, probably September and of course November with all of that. Like, there's things that are going to be going on the calendar here very soon.
We got concerts coming up. We got our Jeptha Creed Jamming at Jeptha coming up. So we've got a concert in June and I think in August, and then again in October. Okay. So come out, outdoor facility, tons of fun. I love it. Well, fantastic. Joyce, I appreciate you so much for coming in and talking about everything going on. And, we'll be seeing you soon with everything that's going on. Thank you so much.